What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Brandy and you're watching the Glam Belle, and today is Makeup Monday. When I asked what you guys wanted to see on Makeup Mondays when I originally started this series, some of the comments that I saw the absolute most was neutral look, neutral natural look, natural everyday look, everyday look, everyday natural look, everyday neutral look, neutral everyday look. You get the picture, right? Apparently most people want to see a neutral, natural, everyday look, something that's simple, something that's easy, something that you can do on the go. So today, that is exactly what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you exactly what I do when I am in a time crunch. I don't have a lot of time, but I still want to look presentable. I wanna look put together because most of us do. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button down there. Make sure to hit the bell so that you're notified when I upload videos. You don't wanna miss out on any more Makeup Mondays or any of my other videos on my channel, of course. Without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump into some neutral, natural, everyday makeup. When I think of natural makeup looks, it doesn't mean no makeup. This is the type of makeup look that you want when you don't want people to actually notice that you have a full face of makeup on. This is not something that's going to be like a 5-minute routine, but this is something that you will be able to achieve very quickly, especially once you have your routine down, and you're going to look super put together, super polished, but not overdone. The first thing that I always do is prime, and today I'm going to go in with the Hangover RX Primer by Too Faced. I love this, especially during the drier, colder winter months. One of the things that you want to do when you're doing an everyday neutral, natural makeup look is make sure that your skin is hydrated. It's more about the skin versus like the eyes and the lips. I focus more on trying to make the skin look like skin. On my more natural days, I still like to wear foundation because I do have some discoloration. If you have very even skin, you can go in with just a concealer if you want, but I like to go in with a thin layer of foundation just to make sure that everything is covered. I find when I use just concealer, it looks a little bit strange because I do have some skin issues. I do have some discoloration. You want something that kind of seeps into the skin and looks very flawless, but still gives that appearance of skin. A few weeks ago, I did a video including this product, and it has been my go-to. This is the Beyond Matte Liquid Foundation by Jane Iredale. This foundation is incredible. It literally, to me, looks like skin on the face, so that is why I love it. I do go in with a beauty sponge. You can go in with a brush if you want. This for me just seems to be the quickest and gives me a nice flawless finish. This foundation is definitely one that you can build up and get super full coverage if you want, but this is really all I need, a nice thin layer. It still allows my skin to kind of show through. The next step would be concealer. For a natural everyday look, I do like a little bit of a natural, more hydrating type of concealer. I don't reach for my Tarte Shape Tape. I definitely reach more for this one. This one's by Too Faced, the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This concealer still has a lot of coverage, but it is more hydrating and definitely looks a little more natural to me. I use just a tiny bit right under my eyes to make sure that I get rid of any dark circles that I have. So I am gonna put just a little bit right in the corner of my eyes. Start with a little bit, blend it out, and then if you need to add more, you can do that, but you don't need to do the big under eye triangle. You don't need to highlight your entire face. You don't need to do all of that if you're doing an everyday natural look. So I'm just gonna go in with the same beauty sponge, and I'm just gonna blend in this concealer. Just to add a little bit of balance to the face, I'm gonna put just a little bit in the areas that you would normally highlight. Use it very, very sparingly because this is a natural look. So we don't wanna go too heavy-handed. Literally just a few little dots in those areas, and that is all you need. And then the other place I like to add concealer is to my eyelids instead of using a regular eye primer. I do have a lot of veins on my eyelids, so I do like to conceal that to even out the color Now we have this nice blank canvas. The skin looks evened out. Next thing you want to do is to set your concealed areas so that your concealer doesn't move around. What I like to use on my more natural days is the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. This has a little bit of a sheen to it. It looks luminous on the skin, so I really love it. I use it under the eyes as well as all over the face to kind of set everything. We're just going to use the Beauty Blender, and I will just pick up the tiniest bit. I'll kind of get the excess off because you don't want to look cakey underneath your eyes. So I kind of tap off any excess, and then I'll go in and set my under eye concealer with this powder. It's going to prevent creasing. It's going to prevent your concealer from moving around, but by getting off all that excess, you're not going to look cakey underneath of the eye. Literally, you're just using the smallest amount of powder that you need to set everything in place. I'm also gonna do the same thing just in those areas that we highlighted a little bit. The next step for me would be to add a little bit of life to the face, and I like to go in with bronzer for that. I do like to use a cream bronzer. I feel like cream products always look very natural on the skin. They just have a way of like bringing life to the skin without looking overdone. So I'm gonna go in with my Soleil Tan de Chanel bronzer. I'm gonna go in with a Morphe Y7 brush and just get in there. I love this when I'm doing natural looks because it does look very, very natural on the skin. So I just go in and start kind of placing that bronzer where I want it. And I always bring my bronzer around my jawline, and then I kind of drag it down the neck a little bit. I'll just kind of go over my nose just to tie it in with the rest of the bronzed skin. And then the next step would be blush, and I do like to use a cream blush when I'm doing a natural everyday type of look. I've been loving this from ColourPop. This is the blush sticks, and I have it in the shade 25-8. I also showed this in a video recently, and I have been obsessed with this for my everyday looks. Now, I do use a brush to go in with this instead of directly on the face. I feel like I can blend it out a little bit better with a brush. I like to just kind of get that on the brush and then just stipple that onto the cheeks. It does have a little bit of a sheen to it. It just adds life to the skin. I do stick with a color that kind of mimics what my skin would look like if I'm blushing. As you can see, it just gives a more natural look to the skin. And I just really make sure that the blush is concentrated more like right on the apples of my cheek, because that is where you would typically blush. Now I'll add a little bit of that to the tip of my nose as well. Just going back in with my Beauty Blender, I'm using the bottom part of it just to kind of blend that in just a little bit. And this is the reason why I didn't set my whole face with powder, is because I was going in with cream products, and you don't want to apply cream products over top of powder because it can go on very, very patchy. So I like to put on my cream products, and then if you feel like you need to set your face, then you can set your face. If you are more on the drier side, then a lot of times you don't need to set your entire face. This was something that I had to kind of learn as my skin changed. I used to go ham with the powder, and then I would wonder why I always looked cakey. The less powder you use, the more natural your look is going to be, and the more natural the skin is going to look. Next step is highlight. I do like to go for a highlight that is a little more subtle, nothing that's too blinding or in your face. This is the H&M, believe it or not, H&M Sunlit Gold Illumination Powder, and I just feel like it gives this beautiful, subtle kind of glow to the skin that is not over the top. And I will highlight my nose and even a little bit on the chin and forehead. You know, you can go a little heavy-handed because it's almost like with this highlight, you can't overdo it. And then I'll always go back in with my beauty sponge and just push everything into the skin. Using a beauty sponge after each step of your face makeup just seems to make everything mesh together. It makes it soak into the skin and look more like skin. And now it is time for brows. Now on my more natural days, I don't take a ton of time with my brows. I do have my brows microbladed. I do like to do a little something with them just to make them look a little more put together. I will take a brow pencil, a very thin brow pencil, and kind of use it to create little feathery strokes in my brows to make it look very natural. I don't do any super structured brow when I'm doing a more natural look. And I'm just going to kind of start at the front of my brow, use little tiny strokes to start to fill it in. The goal to getting a very natural brow is to continue to go in with the little spoolie just to blend it in. For me, my more everyday natural brow is more like filling in any little gaps that need to be filled in. Sometimes I'll go in with a clear brow gel. Sometimes I will go in with something that's got a little color. This is the Light Pale Brow Gel by CoverGirl, and I will just use this to kind of set the brows in place and add a little bit of color. When I use a product like this, it does help my brows to look a little bit thicker. It helps to hold the brow hairs in place. I love the effect that this particular product gives to my brows. I always use a bronzer in the crease. It just makes it so easy. It adds a little bit of contour to the eyes. I'm just gonna go in with this little palette that I have from Tarte. This is their Double Duty Beauty Palette. It has a highlight and a bronzer, and I love, as you can see, I've hit pan on this. I love using this particular shade to put in my crease. It's like the perfect little eye contour color. It's really just about adding a little bit of that contour to the eyes. And when I'm doing this, I am so not perfect with the placement. I literally just get in there and use windshield wiper motions to just kind of distribute it all throughout my crease. Here you can see the difference. So this is with a little bit of contour in the crease, and then this is without. So this definitely looks more blank. Just adds a little something to the eyes so that it doesn't look completely bare. Super easy, simple. Anybody can do it. You can totally leave it like this. If I do want a little extra pizzazz, is to go in with whatever highlight I used, use my ring finger and just add that to the lid, just to give it a little extra something. The other thing I like to do is to go in with the same bronzer and use that right underneath of the lower lash line. And this is all personal preference. You don't have to do this, but I just think it looks really good even when you are doing a very natural, everyday type of makeup look. I usually skip liner altogether when I'm doing a natural makeup look. The only thing that I will do on occasion is to add a nude pencil in the waterline. And all that does is to help really open up the eyes a little bit, make them look a little brighter and wider, especially if you haven't gotten a lot of sleep. I feel like it makes such a big difference, and it's such a quick little step. I love using a light coat of mascara and curling my lashes. And I'm gonna go in with the Revlon Volumazing Mascara. I love using this mascara on my more natural makeup days because it does add length, but it also adds this little bit of thickness to my lashes. So I really love how this looks on the lashes. The last step is for lips, and obviously on a natural, neutral, everyday makeup look, you want something that's natural and neutral, right? One of my all-time favorite lipsticks is, this is by Flower Beauty, and this is the Naked Blush Lipstick. If you've got nice structured lips, then you could totally go right in with a lipstick if you want, or you can go in with just a gloss. I do like to add a little bit of structure to my lips because it just makes everything look a little more put together. So I am going to add a little bit of a lip liner. This is the Lip Cheat Pencil in Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury. And there is the lipstick. I absolutely love this lip color. Oh my gosh. It is like the perfect pinky nude color. It's so pretty. Now, you could totally leave it like this, or you can add a little bit of gloss, and I am gonna go in with a little bit of the Buxom Lip Plumping Gloss in the shade Blushing Margarita. And anything to make my lips look a little more luscious, a little more plump, I am all about that. And then no matter whether I'm doing a full glam look or an everyday look or a no makeup look, I always set my face, because setting your face always makes everything just look more skin-like and more natural. I'm gonna go in with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. Very last step is to take your same beauty sponge and use this to kind of push everything in. The setting spray is pretty much already dry, but I'm just going to push everything into the skin, and then we are done. This is my absolute go-to everyday neutral natural makeup look with little minimal effort. I think it's beautiful. It's very kind of glowy. If that is something that you want to see, like a full glowy makeup look from me, let me know. Of course, let me know any type of makeup videos that you want to see from me. Leave your suggestions in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this. Is this something that you would wear to work or on the go or every day? You could even do this on like a casual date night. I hope you really enjoyed this Makeup Monday video. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.